Good evening, everybody. This is Mitchell back here on my YouTube channel. It's good to see you guys again. It's actually been since the NCAA women's and men's NCAA Sweet 16 basketball tournament. It's been so long, and it just feels like there's not always time to get to videos. But this one's a special edition one. All my predictions of the Green Bay Packers 2024 schedule in a two-page spreadsheet is finally done after a 2-week project, all to myself. Every opponent, date of the game, the TV network, and a special edition, mostly the announcers that will be announcing the game as well. So those are the four fun things that I had planned to predict. I know not all of them are going to be right, but it'll be brilliant if I even get two right out of it, or three, one of those things. So we gotta get so I had to make it this way. I have a full spreadsheet on how the game's gonna be important or unimportant or whatever. So and it's gonna be a very fun season. It's Love's second year as a starting quarterback, and had a really good rookie season ending last year. So from here on out, we will get started. Without further ado, I would say the 2024 Packers schedule predictions begins now. September 6th, it's bolded, which means which is already the first game of the NFL season. They confirmed to play against the Philadelphia Eagles at Sao Paulo, Brazil, which the Packers have a lot of Brazil fans, so it will be interesting on how much the green and gold will actually sell out there. I'm excited that it's gonna be overseas, and it's gonna be a game I can watch for fun because I work at the stadium for guest services on the club sixth floor, and it's good to have some of the away games to enjoy. But it's nice that this one's a way to gain a home game compared to what 2022 brought, where we lost a home game in 2022 from playing the Giants in London. But this one's another NFC East opponent, and we have the advantage that Jalen Hurts isn't as consistent as last year, and he had a very inconsistent run, obviously, in the playoffs against Baker Mayfield, who kind of stuck with the Lions the next game, but he struggled then. So it's gonna be tough, but the game is gonna be on Peacock exclusive and all the local TV affiliates. NBC 26 or Fox 11, I'm guessing, will have it. But I'm gonna say all local TV affiliates of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania will get it, and whoever streams on Peacock will get it, and national it should be national radio coverage, but otherwise your local radio coverage will have it. And then I'm predicting a 5:30 Central Time start because it's supposed to be 7:30 when they're thinking it's gonna air off, but once the schedules are announced tomorrow, once they're announced tomorrow, then there's gonna be an official time. But my prediction is 5:30 p.m. Central Time because they're 2 hours ahead. If it premieres 7:30 there, it will be 5:30 here, right around supper time and after work hour. The announcing crew for this Peacock exclusive game is Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge. And you might have heard them for college football Big Ten games on Saturday night for the first time last year. But this time they are doing some special edition NFL games as well, and this is one I think they will do because first of all, the Kansas City Chiefs played the night before against the Baltimore Ravens. That unofficially got announced before the 7 o'clock Central Time release tomorrow, and then second of all, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth will not travel to Brazil right after announcing a busy Kansas City reigning champs night. So it has to be Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge in my prediction for the opening day game. So that's the main thing. And then it also has to be a Friday game due to college football Saturdays. So I don't like the Friday game, but I'm excited just for the national audience for Love to have that second year, especially to grow his game overseas even too. Week 2, I have a September 15th on noon Central Time on Network Fox. Chris Myers announcing crew to announce against Jacksonville, and I don't really know much about Jacksonville, what they're going to bring this year, but I have week 2 against Jacksonville, which is very ideal. We opened up with Jacksonville in 2016 and had a victory, and it was a very close game, and Rodgers dominates quite a bit in South Florida when we had Aaron Rodgers, but this is Jacksonville, and it's very close to that time of the 2016 Week 1 game on September 11th against Jacksonville. That was also at noon, so I predict a same network time and same kickoff time as well. So other than just the first week, it'll air the second week. So we'll move on to the next one. The Lions. I have the home opener starting September 22nd at 325 on an ultra rare CBS game. But the ultra rare announcers are not correct because they're the A team that's used to going to Green Bay many times. And since the color analyst Tony Romo started, and he's a resident of Wisconsin, and Jim Nantz knows a lot on how meaningful announcing Packer games are. So their crew and Tracy Wolfson will call that one in my ultra rare prediction if it happens, because there's a lot of cross selects NFC matchups that hit CBS these days, and this one could happen. It's the Jared Goff versus Jordan Love Part 3, and it could have been a Part 4 if we played them in the NFC Championship. That's how close it was. Week 4, we have Arizona. Kyler Murray and company are coming to Lambeau, and my prediction September 29th. That's also a noon Fox time, so two out of the first 4 will be on Fox. And then this crew will be a good one because I think the Cardinals had a pretty decent draft. This crew will be the Kenny Alberts and Jonathan Vilma announcing crew. They did a good job last year when they called a couple of the Packer games. I have our bye coming very early this year. I heard there's going to be like only 3 games this week for some rumors I've been hearing for the NFL season. But I have our bye week starting extremely early compared to recent seasons, like last year being such a late bye week, and then the year before. Week 6, I have October 6th, the Thursday night special edition game, a rematch of 2022 when we played Tennessee and couldn't beat them with Derrick Henry, but this time can we get rematch? And obviously the Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit returning crew is apparently back this year for the Thursday night football games. Can we redeem ourselves from winning on the road? That's my primetime prediction for October 10th. October 20th, we'll have San Francisco at home for the NFC 2024 divisional rematch game between the Packers and 49ers at Lambeau. The Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth crew. This will be a very big matchup, and the Packers look for our first win against San Francisco since 2020. 2022 they lost to them in the divisional playoffs, and then 2024 the Packers nearly pulled out the upset but just couldn't. There was a missed field goal, and they just got very weak after a while, and the 49ers started to hang on a little bit more after a while. And then they did the same thing to Detroit the game after that in the NFC Championship in 2024. The Packers are looking for their first victory against San Francisco since 2021, and the first time at home since 2018 in the Monday Night Football thriller when Mason Crosby made the field goal to win on the first possession. October 27th is next, 325 by having ultra rare choice for CBS. This will not be an Nance Romo game if we were in Minnesota because the Vikings are very young this year. The Iron Eagle Charles Davis crew, J.J. McCarthy's rookie start at home. Can the Packers sneak off a victory? And that's going to be tough, and I would have the Vikings winning at least on the road because of how much they're going to probably stay in games, but they're going to have a hard time in a very tough NFC and most likely NFC North. Next, we have Week 9, November 3rd, the Bears. We definitely have a Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, but I have to say between a nooner 325, I can't predict which time because there's going to be a lot of primetime games at the end of the season and around Christmas and Thanksgiving. So the predictions are definitely either if it's a nooner 325, it will definitely be the Burkhardt Brady crew. And then Caleb Williams making his debut at Lambeau against his new rival opponent. That'd be a big one. November 10th, Week 10, I have at Seattle, and then start time is another rare CBS game. The Kevin Harlan, Trent Green announcing crew, and that's going to be Geno Smith versus Jordan Love, no matter when it happens. But I think it's definitely a 3:05 or 3:25 Sunday start if they end up choosing a Sunday game compared to one Monday night or Thursday night game. This is a rematch, speaking of that Monday night game, the Hail Mary game at CenturyLink Field before name changes started for a lot of stadiums, it seems like. The 2014 National Football Conference Championship of the Packers heartbreak, and 2003 wildcard victory at Lambeau to Seattle, and then also another playoff victory to Seattle a couple of years back in 2020. Packers finally look for their first win since 2008 at Seattle, in Aaron Rodgers' rookie season. I didn't remember much of that game, but the Packers won 27-17 in Seattle. So I was only in 6th grade back then, as a fun fact. Next Detroit, but either way, it's back to the A-Team Fox crew at Detroit. It would definitely have to be the Burkhardt, Brady, Aaron Andrews crew because I can't predict us having a primetime game when it's very close to my Black Friday prediction. That's supposed to be that. Next, we have Week 12. I have the Houston Texans coming right before December. The last 2 times they played in the regular season, 2008 and 2016, they were both December games when the Packers played the Texans. Both snowy games too. Both of them had snow. I was at the one as a kid in 2008 and 2016 when I did the when I was at the Texans game in person. That's when I started my full employment at Lambeau Field as a guest services seasonal ticket taker. So that's when I started there. So I've been to the last 2 against the Texans when they've came here in the regular season, and this will be number 3, and I do have it in November compared to those 2. So I have that big time hump broken. And then the network is CBS, and this is an obvious Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson pre-Turkey Day appetizer. 2 of practically maybe the best QBs besides Patrick Mahomes will go at it. 2 top kind quarterbacks will go at it in Green Bay, Wisconsin. A big game for both teams. And I read the December part. And then the thing I couldn't do was pick the Texans and Dolphins, both marquee games the same week as Christmas, because I have a special edition teaser for December 25th. And then we have another one. We have Week 13. I have a special edition Black Friday against Indianapolis, the Amazon Prime Video special, the second version of the Al Michaels Kirk Herbstreit announcing crew. And then I have the time being 3:30 because there's also college football games on that day, as it's rivalry weekend and a very busy and big weekend for college football. So I gotta at least put 3:30 to open up a 7:00 window for a meaningful college football Friday game that might happen. That might be scheduled late to a Friday. Then it can get done then the NFL game could get done for a marquee college game before conference championships start this weekend. And then the next one, Sunday, December 8th, we have the Rams. The TV network, either 3:05 or 3:25. Sometimes I know that the Rams have 3:05 start times besides the Las Vegas. 3:25 sometimes brings Rams start times to 3:05 as well. So it's between either of those. And then the announcing crew has to be the Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady crew and Aaron Andrews crew because of having to play Stafford yet again. We played the Rams three out of the last 5 seasons and beat them every time besides one. And then McVay and Sean McVay and the Rams are looking to beat the Packers since 2018 and lost the last 3 times at Lambeau Field. And then that time was before SoFi Stadium opened in Los Angeles, the really big stadium, the really big stadium that they used to share, but now they don't share anymore. Week 15, I finally have a Monday night game, which is the obvious Buck Aikman, Lisa Salters crew. I have the Vikings, but I know it could get flexed, so I know I could be wrong on this, but this will guaranteed be flexed if it happens. I need to at least add one division rival because of the Monday night schedule, because we had the Giants and Raiders last year all on the road, and we didn't have anybody division, and we had the Lions as division in 2022 and 2020. Both at Lambeau Field. So this year it has to be at home, whatever NFC North team we play. But I think this year would be the Vikings because it's someone different, and they would probably want to leave the Lions to a CBS or Sunday Night Football game. So I would say the Vikings will come here for the lone Monday night game of the year and no more away games because the away games last year was the first Monday night game since 2016. Green Bay has been away for Monday Night Football, so it was a full 7 years before Green Bay was back on an away game for the Monday night stage, compared to hosting every single year until last season. All the seasons I've been working there, including my first year, that's when they were away. So that was the last time they were all the way back then. So it's just crazy how it goes, and that's definitely a fun fact there that it's maybe time to have it at home. Great if it's an away game to have another night to watch it for fun, but if not, it's good to have home advantage as well. So I predict that one to have Monday night back in Green Bay for one, and a December treat. Next, Week 16, December 22nd, got the rematch of Jordan Love's first ever start at Lambeau Field against the New Orleans Saints. Can Derek Carr and the mediocre Saints, and the Saints were like 8-8 last year. They just missed the playoffs by a good game or two. And they got Derek Carr back, and they win for the first time in forever in Lambeau. I have the Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma solid crew again. Just like last year, they called that game, and that was an incredible 17-0 comeback. And it was a very mediocre season, but then while making the playoffs and being the last 8 teams in the NFL alive. It's quite the roller coaster that became worth it, folks, for Jordan Love's new era in Green Bay. So 3 different quarterbacks having the era we have. We are fortunate for that. So Week 17, this is my special edition teaser I did earlier. Santa's sleigh will be coming to Lambeau Field. The 3:30 start time, but I'm hearing Netflix has one Christmas Day game because they're having a doubleheader on Christmas, as far as I know. They're having one game and then one other is being announced on the streaming site. So streamed on the streaming site. So, and then I'm predicting an ultra rare Fox crew to call this one because I don't think there will be an NFL Network crew that calls this one. The same Joe Davis crew will call the one just like the one in South Florida in 2022 when the Packers stayed alive in that one to make in order to make the postseason, at least to keep their hopes alive in Rodgers' last season. So that same crew would call it just like that season, and I would be working at the game if it ends up being that day, and that's quite a bit of history lined up if that's the case. And then lastly, Week 18, I have us returning to Chicago for the first time since December of 2013, back in the old Week 17 days. Since the Rodgers and Cobb moment as well. I had it predicted last year. If you go back to my video, I had it predicted last year that the Bears will be the Week 17 finale, but I did not get it right because we hosted the Bears and made the playoffs off it. And I thought that magic since 2010 regular season would lead to a Super Bowl, and it fell short of the last time we opened up, and the last time we closed up against them. We won that year in the 45 year. Last year was nearly there, but this year I have it back in Chicago from where it belonged from back then when that moment happened. And then absolutely Fox A-Team, and it will absolutely be at 325 if it's like a winner-take-all game. Winner to the wild card, loser to the wild card, winner gets a 1 seed, loser gets a 2 seed. There could be a lot of different implications that could happen. So I have to have a 325 start time if both of these teams have very important implications. And then announcing crew, very important announcing crew will have to happen. So I predicted that last year. The question is, will I be right this time on that one? And will I be right on other predictions as well? So I would like to hear what you all have to say after this video on what your predictions are, what your TV networks are, what TV networks you're predicting, and the predictions of the records and everything else. And then the NFC North predictions, I have the Lions 13-4, the Packers 12-5, the Bears just slipping away from 500 at 8-9. They were very close to 500, but the level of competition could be a little bit tough for Caleb Williams' first year. And then the Vikings at a very tough 5-12 and losing a lot of close games there at the Twin Cities. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and see you soon for a real Packers schedule prediction and analysis video once the schedules are out tomorrow. Enjoy the schedule release, everybody, and good night.